the thing in your, or that right there. But once that happens,
In times past, there's been people that come and gotten put on the agenda while they're sitting here.
I mean, I'm just
I'm
going
sorry.
off
I'm
of
so
what it
sorry.
says in the town code.
Yeah, and that's what I have been used to as well.
Okay, yeah, I was
And
just
that's
going
what
off
I've been
of
used to as
the
well.
way it's written on the town code.
Okay. So this is our year-end Scooters Underdogs Community Impact Report. And that just shows what that we have done for the town of Elkhart. And you can see that for our annual dog intakes, we have had 45 dogs, 14 cats, and that is just through, just within the town limits of Elkhart. And through another partnership, another 87 feral kittens and cats were trapped, neutered, and released. And those that were able to be rehabbed, they have been able to be adopted and adopted out to other homes. The annual intake, it was 183 animals, or 145 dogs and 38 cats.
Just in Elk Park?
No, that was countywide. That was countywide. It was
Oh.
45 dogs, 14 cats, just in
45
Elk
dollars,
Park.
14 cats, just in that park.
Just in Elk Park. And then an additional 87 feral cats and kittens. So that's a total of, let's see, I have it here. 100 and, sorry, what's that? 47 plus 14. 100-ish animals just in the year of 2025. But approximately, and then we gave out last month, throughout the year of 2025, and then the month of January hit us really, really hard. We gave out over 100 bales of straw. We gave out 10 dog houses, more food, approximately 65 families and pets were served each month through our rescue. And what I am trying to get at here is, I'm sure that you all have been made aware that our Wi-Fi that wasn't costing the town anything, but it was disconnected. And I'm here to try to protect the future of the rescue. So I'm here to try to secure the future of the rescue by asking for a lease of perpetuity, and that is a permanent lease, and that just gives us no ownership over the building whatsoever, just the right to use the building for as long as the need is there for the community. And I had this whole big spiel, but I was just kind of in waiting. We're not just a rescue, we're a safety net. We're the ones that people call whenever anybody. I can name off, I think almost everyone on this board has called us when they needed us. We provide houses, vaccinations, pet tags, emergency medical assistance when needed. And we do this all on a volunteer basis. We do not pay ourselves one dime. All of this is 100% volunteer base. And because Avery County lacks a dedicated animal control, we often step in to fill that void. And we do that pretty well, I think, considering it's done by two women. And I think that by securing our future at the rescue, I think that we would be able to secure further grants. That's a large chunk of what we need, and I feel like that is our next step in finding or securing our future, and not just doing year-to-year leases. And I would like to know your all's input on that.
Well, I personally appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
And I think I don't see as many dogs on the street as I
Thank
did.
you. We just had a litter of 13 and then a litter of 10 that we just got. Like I said, January was a crazy month, but we had a litter of 10 and then a litter of 13. One came from right behind the rescue, one came from off of Little Elk. So those came right from Elk Park.
Well, I think everyone appreciates what y'all do. So what was you wanting, or we can talk about this at the next meeting? Did you have other things that you wanted to request from the town, or?
That is what I request from the town, is a permanent lease, as long as the services are needed, so that way we can, as the printout, you can see, so that way our donors can see that we are grounded and that we are not just a two-man show running at flying by the seat of our pants.
So you're wanting to, the 2-year lease that y'all have now is what you're saying?
To be,
You wanted it to be unlimited.
Unlimited?
right.
Like-
Well, they just signed this 2-year lease in November.
And it wasn't due until February. We didn't know it was 2 years. We thought it was just 1 year. And then we got to reading it was 2 years. We didn't know.
Well, if you listen to what she's saying they can't get grants
Right,
and
that's
things
correct.
off of a 1-year lease. They're wanting a permanent lease to where their people that are getting the grants from are saying, yeah, they're legitimate. They're not just a fly by night.
Right.
They're not just working year to year
Or
If
having,
you listen to what she's
or
saying,
having
that's
it
what
ripped
she's
away
saying.
from us, or having it ripped away from us next year, or having it ripped away from us.
Right.
And this is gonna help you on the grants and
Right, it's
everything.
gonna help us on the grants.
You probably can't get them without it.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, we'll have to go.
yeah, I think this is something that we'll talk about, and where we didn't know anything about this time, didn't have any information or anything. We'll just talk about it.
If we can make a note to put her on, do you wanna be on the agenda next month?
I was
And
hoping,
maybe we can discuss and,
Yeah.
because we probably can't make that decision tonight
okay,
because it wasn't put on the agenda.
And we need the information, like
what
any,
more information do you need?
whatever you're saying there, what you're wanting in writing, so we can look at it, and I can
Okay,
put it with the agenda.
okay.
Alright, thank you.
Is there anything else that I can provide you with, any,
Just whatever you had all wrote down there for them, everybody to read and look at.
okay.
How long have you had Wi-Fi?
I've had it since for about 2.5 years.
How did you get the Wi-Fi?
It was done through booster boxes.
Who did it?
Tyler
Yeah.
was
You
an
know that we
issue.
had to have Spectrum come down and work on it for 4 hours because it messed up in the town.
It was never an issue before.
I don't know what happened.
I don't
Probably
know.
the new offices and stuff using internet.
Maybe.
probably slowed everything
Yeah,
down.
we went 3 days and didn't have Wi-Fi, it was in
Yeah.
and out, so we've had to get Christian, so.
So who
That's
paid
been-
for all that equipment and everything?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Is that an issue? Do we need to pay anything back?
I don't know. I was just curious because we never knew that was going on until we found out when the town hall was out, and then we found out that there was a booster.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't know.
It was costing no one any money. So the town wasn't paying for it. Scooters wasn't paying for it. It was just,
No, the town pays for Wi-Fi.
the town pays for Wi-Fi, but
Yeah.
they weren't paying for Scooters Wi-Fi.
We've had it 2.5 years and I haven't heard any complaints about nobody up here, the secretary, nobody saying Wi-Fi wasn't working right.
No,
I don't know what happened. I don't know.
I don't either.
Well, the town, in the agreement, in the contract, you know, it says that we don't have to provide Wi-Fi down there.
Right, I understand that, we have Wi-Fi now,
Okay.
If the town feels generous enough and wants to contribute back to that, we will happily take it. I'm not gonna turn down, anything like that, but if you feel like you want to reimburse us, I'm not gonna turn that down.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Sharon?
Time for the fun stuff. Okay. Here are some bound copies for each of you, if you can just take that and slide it down, and I didn't figure you'd want that.
You can give Joy one.
Okay, I want to thank you for allowing us to work on your audit again this year. If you don't know me, my name is Sharon Gillespie. I have a public accounting firm down in Spruce Pine, and I think it's my 3rd year in doing your audit now. Could possibly be the 4th. But the way we have structured it is the tenant comes in and does a lot of work with the financial personnel, and then he sends us the information in a nice little packet to audit. So of course, with Doug being involved, we have some really clean records, so we're always happy about that. But if you'll turn to the 3rd page of your audit document, I want to go over just a few of these pages, certainly not all 70 of them, but just hit some highlights here. The 3rd page says our opinions under the 2nd paragraph. In our opinion, based on our audit, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the town of Elk Park. So had you not passed the audit, had there been findings, this sentence would be worded differently. So this basically says, yes, you passed the audit, you had a clean audit opinion. But when you pass an audit, a lot of times there are some other violations that are back in the body of the audit that we point out during the audit. But I can tell you, you didn't have any governmental violations, you didn't have any budget violations or any of those kinds of things. There are a few things that I'll talk about at the end of the presentation, but those are just kind of bookkeeping type matters. But as far as the findings, there were no findings with the audit. So just looking at a couple of the pages, and before I start to do that, just let me remind you, this document is organized from very general to very specific. So if you want to know what salaries are in the water department, you would have to look at the very back. But if you want to know overall how the water department did, you look toward the front of the document. So it goes from general to specific. And then if you don't want to read the entire document, there is about a 5-page summary in the front called a management discussion and analysis. And that's, I used to refer to Cliff Notes, but then nobody really knows Cliff Notes anymore. Everybody's getting too young for those when I do a presentation. But if you remember Cliff Notes with a novel, it gave you a little summary of what happened in that novel. And that's what this MD&A does. So it can tell you just at a snapshot what the bottom line was, what your findings were, and some of the big things that happened in the town. But just to look at a few of the pages that I feel would be most interesting to a board, if you start on page 19 of the audit. Page 19 is your statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. If you run a business, this would be just like your income statement. It shows what the inflows and the outflows for 1 year. So in looking down the line, if you paid attention to prior year audits, you've never seen this flood damage special revenue fund. This is new. This is a fund that was set up to account for your FEMA money. And in addition to that, we put your North Carolina cash flow loan in that fund. So everything to do with the recent hurricane is in this flood damage fund. So you can see at the end of the year, at the bottom line here, you had $140,000 left sitting in that fund that was still earmarked just for flood damage type expenses. And that is set up as a special revenue fund because we did anticipate more grants and more things happening as far as flood revenues in the future. So it does need its own box on the financial statements. But this first column is your general fund. This page has nothing to do with water operations, but the general fund here, the total revenues, $553,000. That is very consistent with last year's total revenues. I just looked it up before I came and it was 527. So an increase in the total inflows. Part of that was sales tax, but a pretty good amount of that was in your investment earnings. So you earned more interest during the 24-25 year than you had the previous year. The expenses down the line were fairly consistent with the exception of the capital outlay. Capital outlay this year for the 25 audit was much less than what it was for 24 because you spent a lot, I believe it was maybe on the town park the previous year and finished it up during 24-25. But overall, if you look at the far column, the profit for the year was $80,000 between both funds, and that is compared to $87,000 the previous year. So a very consistent year, which is really impressive considering the hurricane, because almost every presentation that I've done, our topic was the hurricane. All these expenses are way up because of the hurricane. All these revenues are different because of the hurricane. But yours overall stayed fairly consistent even with the hurricane that we went through. Another page that I would like to take a quick look at is page 23. We're required to lay these statements out exactly this way, and if we don't get it in the exact format that the local government commission in Raleigh wants, they send this audit back to us. So we are required to put the general fund over here on this first exhibit, and this one is the water fund. And again, this is your income statement for the water fund. Now, an important part of this is to look at the operating income line on the water fund. It's about halfway down. And what so many towns in North Carolina strive for is to get to a break-even point in that water fund. Because it's supposed to be where the unit of government, the general fund, is supposed to just provide services to the citizens and they don't have a profit motive. The water fund is supposed to be run like a business. It's supposed to at least break even or even make a little bit of money so that you can put money aside for future water repairs. So if you'll see the middle of the page here, the operating income was $40,000. So that's always a good benchmark for you to look at when you're looking at water rates and things like that. When you start to see that go down or become negative, you definitely want to take a look at your water rates. And of course you look at them often for other reasons too. But looking all the way down the line, we had a change in net position, a profit overall in the water fund of $257,000. Now that's a little bit misleading because $188,000 of that was a grant that was used to repair your infrastructure. So because that added value to the town overall, it increases your water fund balance. But it's not money that you can use for anything. It's already spent and already gone into that infrastructure. One other exhibit that is a new one, it's all the way at the back, page 64. This is the FEMA fund that I mentioned, and it shows that during the last audit year, you took in $105,000 of FEMA funds. You actually spent out $337,000 on different FEMA-related expenses. To cover that shortfall, you had that loan, the North Carolina cash loan, which was a 0% loan that you took. That is, there's some pretty relaxed repayment terms, and at one point, they were hoping that that would be forgiven, but I'm not seeing anything else about that being forgiven at this point. But, to fund that expenditure for the flood, you got that loan, and the general fund transferred over $226,000 to cover those FEMA expenses. And you actually transferred back out to the water fund $32,000. So all that combined is where the $140,000 that we mentioned that you had left in that particular fund to spend toward flood related damage repair. One other page that's always an important page in the audit is page 66. And I apologize for jumping around. I just wanted to hit a few of the things that I felt were important, and then if you have anything, we can go back to it. Page 66 is your collection percentage. And if you don't have a good tax collection rate, you're not going to be able to operate for very long. So this year, the overall collection rate was 95.96%, and that is actually up from 94.19% the previous year. So a nice job in keeping those taxes collected. As I mentioned, there were no findings. However, local government commission will require a response from Connie as far as the age of your assets in your water fund. What happens? They have a formula when I key in the audit. They have a formula that they say, wait a minute, their stuff's getting old, and we want to know what they're planning to do in the future as it gets old. So that is not an audit finding, but that is just local government commission wanted to make sure that you address that, and that you're aware that things are getting old and you need some plans in place to replace those items. In the very back of your audit, there is a loose management letter. And the management letter is the place where, even though you passed the audit, and I actually didn't bring my copy of it, but if you don't mind, I think I remember it, but I don't want to misquote it. The management letter, even though you passed the audit and have no findings, that's the place where we have the opportunity to say, here's the little things that we saw that you might want to take a look at. So the second page, the bottom of the first page actually talks about the performance indicators and the water and sewer assets. So that's what I had just mentioned. That's the area that was identified by local government commission, and I have involved here these will require a response letter. So Connie will have to have several of you sign off on that response letter as to what your plans are for future improvements on the water fund assets. But Doug had pointed out to me, in addition to the above, there were some bookkeeping problems. They were minor, but there were several checks that were printed that did not match checks when they cleared the bank. So that's just, and there again, a lot of these are very easy to do. You know, if you put in the wrong beginning check number and you run a whole batch, they're not necessarily going to match what clears in the bank. So that was present, and the year-end bank reconciliation amounts did not match the amount on the software. So Doug had to go in and do some work for that. A lot of checks only had one signature, a lot of missing invoices. So again, just little bookkeeping procedures during that year that were amiss. And Doug actually made any corrections, of course, before I got these things. So it was not an audit violation, but it is something that he wanted and that I feel like that needs to be brought to your attention so that you can pay, closer attention to that kind of thing in the future.
Hopefully that's be better from now on. So, but does anyone have any questions
I don't have any.
for Sharon? Sharon, I'll call you one day or email you and see when would be a good time to go over a few things I'd like to talk to you about.
Okay.
I know we talked about all these
Right.
issues before, but just, I have a few things, and then I'll tell you about a couple of the grants right now and a few things that we're gonna be doing
Okay.
and stuff, and then we'll get you caught up
Okay.
and stuff.
Sounds
And-
good. And if anyone takes this home and takes a look at it and something doesn't make sense, just give me a call. My number is there on the letterhead, and be glad to talk you through any section. I know it's a lot, but, if anything doesn't make sense, feel free to give me a call.
Well, I appreciate you coming. Has anyone else got any questions for? I don't think anybody's got any questions, but
Okay.
I'll call you one day this week
Sounds good.
or email you so we can talk a little bit. Okay. All right. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Alright, Christian had to leave, he left a letter, everybody, he just gave it to us, he had an emergency, someone had a, surgery or something, he talked to Karen more, I don't know, anyway, he left this report, wanna go over it, it's, what he's been doing. And he's actually gonna be back tomorrow, to help Karen out a few things. And I haven't read this letter, if everybody wants to look over it, we can. Cause by the time he got it here, it was about time for the meeting. So I didn't have time. Yeah. So anybody got any questions or anything? We can ask him tomorrow, or I know he said he's been working. Does it say anything about the cameras? I don't know. Show Karen, did you find it, Mike?
No, but go ahead.
Okay. The only thing he did tell me while he was in there, while me and Joy was talking, he said that he had contacted Lorex, the company, over the cameras, and they will sit down and walk him through completing, regaining access. He said it'd take like a full business day to do this because of the complexity of the system and not knowing, you know, from the past administration for the, forwarding it, the information. So that's the only thing that he told me that I had time to talk to him about. So if anybody's got anything else or
Did he
questions,
give you any timeline when he would have up the social media page?
I don't know, did he tell you, Karen?
It says that letter next month.
Next month.
It says in, yeah. I didn't know he wasn't gonna be able to be here, which he didn't know
Okay.
until. So anybody got any questions to ask Christian tomorrow, or come by and see him, whatever. Alright, so next order is the motion to approve the December 1st and 15th, 2025 minutes. Mike makes the motion,
I'll second.
Darlene second, all in favor, raise your hand. Okay. Minutes of January 5th, 8th, and 21st. Can you make a motion to approve or disapprove or change, or? I know that was a lot to read, but we got everything out. Mike makes a motion. Second.
I'll second.
Al second. All in favor? Raise your hand. Okay, there is a copy of the bills for January in there.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot going on.
I think we pretty well got all the bills caught up. Sandy Lewis, the lady with the League of Municipalities, she came up Thursday and Friday. She didn't get to come today, so, which these are not on these bills because they just actually, she did them Friday, so they're not listed on here in the January bills. So we've gotten caught up on our payments to the IRS for several months that needs to be done monthly, and it was $19,631. So just like I said, it's not on the January bills listed. It'll come out really because she got it done, but we got caught up on it and to the North Carolina Department of Revenue. We're still working on getting caught up, and she's been a great help. She worked all day Thursday and Friday in here with us, and so she will be here tomorrow, helping us get all this straightened out. She will do the bank reconciliations, and then she's going to be working on the financial statement with us. And I talked to Doug Tennant today, and that Insight payment that I told y'all about the other day. Well, we got another bill, so it's over 20-some thousand, but we don't need. Doug said that prior it had been coming out of, or it needs to come out of like the FEMA money. And I talked to Margaret, and she actually didn't get back to me today. I sent her an email. The only other thing out there at the First Community Bank in Banner Elk, where that FEMA money's coming in, this 941s or IRS tax payment amounts, they've been coming out of it and the retirement. So we can't do that. So when we get all of that figured up from what's been paid out last year, we will have to refund them because that's only FEMA monies up there. Yeah, so we can't pay our, personal, well, it ain't personal, but stuff like that out of it.
Right.
So when I get that amount, when we get it all figured up, we'll have to write a check out of the Carter County Bank to put back up there, because Doug said that's a big no-no too. So there's going to be a lot of money switching around, but I just want y'all to know, because I don't want you thinking that we're in here just doing all this, moving all this money around when it's not been right. Okay, so really, I can ask for a motion to pay those bills, but there'll be more to it, so this is all I had right now. But
Well, do we need to go ahead and pay them, don't we?
well, yeah, we need to pay them, so go ahead and make a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Brad makes a motion, pays Darlene seconds. All in favor, raise your hand. All right. And okay, under old business, we need to advertise the Ford F-250, and there's a resolution in your packet. And Joy, do you want to say anything about that resolution, or just? I know me and you went over it. It's just to take the bids until like March 31st.
Correct, yeah, it would just be a closed bid process from now until March 31st at 3 p.m. All bids will remain sealed until that time. And then in addition to the bids, anyone making the bid would need to put down 5% of their bid price.
Okay.
So that just depends on, whatever number they come up with. And that money would stay here until such time that, the top bid is selected or approved. And then if your bid wasn't chosen, obviously you could refund it that 5% back to you. And then whoever wins the bid would have to pay up, the remaining 95% of the bid.
Okay. Alright, so anybody got any more questions on that? Anyone?
Are you gonna run that in the paper?
Yeah, we'll have to run it in the paper, to take bids on it, so I'll have to get it to Jamie, and Jamie's not here because he snowed in.
Yeah, and for personal property, you just have to give 7 days heads up, from the time that's published until the opening of the bids. But I go ahead and publish it ahead of time, just so you have more time for bids to roll in.
Okay, alright, so, need a motion to adopt this resolution.
I'll make a motion.
Alice made a motion, second, Mike seconded, all in favor? All, okay. Going down the line. Okay, these are just some updates that I have. We got letters sent in, Margaret did, to FEMA for the extension on the projects. We got all that done last week. And hopefully we'll know something March as of putting out the bid to start on these projects. The first one, she said, is going to be through these meters because we've got so many meters that are not working. It's a lot. And so we're naturally not getting the correct usage out of them. So that's that on that, and I'll just keep y'all posted on it. Tollies, I did contact Army Corps of Engineers. I tried to call him back today and he didn't answer, which I know a lot of people's not in their office right now. And also the Avery County Inspections Department is supposed to go out because of the camper there. They contacted me wanting to know how he was hooked up with electricity, and I don't know. Also, Joey's gonna get that letter wrote, so we haven't done that yet.
Correct, but we'll incorporate it in any electrical stuff or anything
Right.
else we need to.
Okay. All right, I already told you a little bit, about Sandy being here, Sandy Lewis of the League. She's working on a lot of stuff for us. So that's that. Another thing, here's some old business that come in, well, a little late, which we can talk about it in discussion by mayor and board. The next, we'll go ahead and go to new business. This master agreement with Bolton and Mink. Joy's looked over this, and Joy, I'll let you explain it to him if you want to, better than I can, probably.
Sure, yeah, so this is an agreement between the town and Bolton and Mink. It's for an initial 2-year term. There are a couple ways that it could be terminated before then, but for the most part, it should be a 2-year term. What this is, it just establishes a relationship between the town and Bolton and Mink. So every time that we go to them for something, we're not having to reinvent the wheel or do a completely new contract every single time. What would happen if you guys vote for this is you would sign the main contract here, and then after on where it's saying like page 1 of 10, if you go to page 9 of 10, that begins the sample task order. So the main contract will be in place, and then each individual project, you'll just be dealing with page 9 and 10, not everything. So here it just kind of lists out what's the scope of work you'll be doing on the project, what kind of fees are going to be for this project, timeline, etc. This way it just shaves down the amount of paperwork you'll have to do later. If you turn to the very back page, it does list current fee schedule for certain services that Mobley Mink offers. So just depending on the project, it could require one or a couple, or, maybe all of these things. It really just kind of depends on what you want to do. But if you have any questions, feel free to let me know.
If y'all remember when Chris was here, and they said that we'd never signed like a total contract with them, so this is what they was talking about. And, I think it'll be better, and I know there's some projects that, that they're gonna help us with, which they are helping us with, the FEMA and stuff like that, so it'll be each individual, so. And everybody's looked over it, I know Joy did, stuff like that, so. So, ask for a motion to sign this master agreement. Darlene made the motion.
Awesome.
Mike seconded, all in favor? Okay, better take care of them. Okay, the next order of business is the attorney rates. I guess everybody looked at her letter from the attorney. Just letting y'all know. That. Anybody got any questions for Joy? Oh,
We appreciate the discount. When you look at the difference
Yeah.
in what you do from municipalities and the normal rate,
Correct, yeah, there's
quite a bit.
quite a bit difference.
okay.
Yeah, of course. And then if you just want to get a motion in a second for that.
Okay.
Just approve the new rate.
So, motion,
I'll make a motion.
uh,
I'll say.
Darlene seconded, all in favor? Okay, I guess we'll keep you.
Thank you.
We'll keep you for around for a while. Okay, alright, so everyone should have a copy of the letter from Connor. I don't know what I did with mine. Right here it is. Chuck Edwards. Okay. So they contacted me this week and they were supposed to have come by. I think it was Wednesday, but due to the weather, he didn't get out to inform us that the town had received the grant for $528,000 for Elk Park water infrastructure and equipment. This is to really, I guess, look for a well or a new well site is what it'd be. And there was a few more things in with it, like a trench box, a large portable generator, and to back up the wells and stuff. It looks like the total cost was like $660,000, and the town will receive $528,000. So the town's part will be $132,000 of this. This will be something that the town will get, but there will have to be Aston, Bolton, and Mink, if that's whatever, to guide us through this and make sure that we do everything right. He's supposed to let me know when they will be coming back. I don't know if it'll be this week or who knows right now with this weather. It may be in a couple of weeks or it may be this week. I don't know. But when he does, I'll let you know. And he wanted Jamie to be here and everything. Okay. Anybody got any questions on that? Everybody's just being quiet. Patrick? And go into employee report. Patrick, I did give him all a copy of that letter, that email stuff about that guy. I know it was sort of last month, or happened in last month, but they do have it.
Oh, the gentleman with the shotgun?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, gentleman had reported a shotgun stolen. Turns out that it actually wasn't stolen, it was more than likely it's probably been traded. But he had messaged the mayor and I guess via email with some disgruntlement, and I did get back to him and show him how that the process of getting a disposition signed by a judge is how you get your weapon back after it's been reported stolen.
I didn't reply back to him. I just let Patrick
Yeah.
handle that.
He emails me about every day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Other than that, everything's running pretty smooth. We're busy. Busy. But, got a lot of stuff going on. But any questions for me? All right.
That's it? Short and sweet, huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Alright, so we got discussion by mayor and board. I'm just wanna go over just a few little things just to get it out there so we'll know. They did get, new tires for the Ford F-150. I have been asked by Kay Ward about putting a meter, water meter that's going to be located on her property, not on Tolly's. They're gonna build her a new house. Samaritan's Purse is, so I think that's something that, you know, her meter's supposed to be on her property. I don't know when this can be done or when they'll need it, but I think we, need to do that. And, the election's gonna be held here on March the 3rd in 2026 here at the town hall. The upcoming election. It's for Board of Education, county commissioners. I don't know who else.
I think the clerk or the register
I
of
don't know
deeds,
who all it
register
is.
of
Yeah, I think the clerk's up.
Clerk of court.
register of
Okay.
deeds. But there's it's all local, right?
Yeah, I just want y'all to know this. Just stuff we gotta do. Or let y'all know. And I have one more somewhere. Okay, I asked Chris Rosenberg about like rewiring for the wells, and he said that we needed to get a quote from like Water Quality to tell us, because that SCADA system is not like for rewiring. So he said that we could probably pull like some money from these monies that we're getting from somewhere, and I don't know exactly where, so I'm not gonna say it's gonna come from here or here, you know, to rewire on that. Also, the heater went out up at the booster tank, the big heater that's up on the thing. So I went and got a heater just like one that you set in the floor. Harold is supposed to let me know. He's thinking that it's just probably not going to be fixable. Yeah, so that's something I guess they're going to let me know. I don't. Does anybody know like? Gosh, how much one of them would cost? I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know much about them. I know it's a big heater, but so that'll be something we need to be looking into. It's up on Ferncliff, up there at the height of the tank, on the inside.
Carolina Water, they know,
I don't know about Carolina Water. I guess Heritage, Mountain Heritage,
Who's doing their wells and plants?
Water Quality.
Water quality.
Yeah, well, Harold, he's the one. Yeah, he's the one that works with. He's gonna let me know.
Is he gonna get your price?
Yeah, well.
Can he get a price for
He,
it?
well, what he's saying is that one that's in there, he don't think can be fixed. So I mean, we may be looking
A price on a
at
new
getting a new one in there. Right now, we've just got a small heater in there trying to keep it warm, which is okay. I have not had time to even look at trucks. If that's something Brad, Mike, any of you want to do, you can. I've just not had time right now. it's back down to the sewer plant. Right now, we're doing okay with just the regular truck we've got. And Ben's still pushing. So that's something, you know. If one of yous are out or somewhere and you go somewhere and see them, you know, you may want to ask, get a little information from them.
I'll ask Ben again because he recommended a Ford place that we should go to that he deals with that gives the best deals. And I can't remember where it's at.
I know
So
that
it's
last
just
time we got
450.
one down at Morganton, but then the other one we did at Johnson City, I think. But anyway, that's,
Sure where we got.
That'd be a long time ago, wouldn't it?
I know the 250 came from Morganton, but I'm thinking the other one was from Johnson City. I don't know for sure. But anyway, I just wanted y'all to know that I have not had time to do that. Too much other stuff going on. Alright, so I told you about the electrical system. Alright, I think that's about all I've got. I have been asked by a couple of more places, and Scotty Ledford has said that he had asked you all about running water down there up above Lisa's. Do y'all remember that? I told him I didn't know.
Who?
Scotty, was that ever brought up?
I think I
okay.
remember something about it.
Seemed
but-
like that's a long, long time ago.
Yeah, something about it wouldn't work.
Okay.
I don't know. I think.
Okay, we'll have to, I just thought I'd ask
Been a long
before.
time ago, 'cause I-
Yeah, it's been.
If it is.
Okay. Alright, oh, and I was gonna let y'all know the water did freeze again. We've been up there in the ceiling and it's got that heat tape. But I really want y'all to think about, you know, something this spring or summer. This is something I think we need to do is get these water lines up underneath here and out of the ceiling.
We definitely need to get that hot water heater out there.
I know. And I guarantee right now in that, well, I know it was earlier, in that one bathroom, the hot water's froze right now. I've been coming down here and leaving the water running. So I think that's something that we really need to do.
Could look into one of those tankless water heaters.
What's that?
The tankless water heaters, you know, the small
Oh,
ones.
I don't know a whole lot about them.
Well, I just think we need to get it out of the ceiling before it busts and then town hall will be burnt. We'll be like Carter County Bank was.
Yeah.
Alright, I think that's all I've got. So, Mike, you got anything?
Well, have you heard any more? I know we're supposed to have that meeting on maintenance, man.
Oh, okay. Well, last week we couldn't, and then it
Yeah.
come to snow. So I asked that boy, I sent him an email about maybe tomorrow night or Thursday.
That's fine
So
with
he
me.
hadn't, I'll let him know.
Yeah.
And I do have jury duty tomorrow, so I don't know how long I'll be there. I know. But I'll let you and Brad know.
Okay. And secretary or whatever, we gonna.
Well, I'm gonna ask to go in closed session here in just a
Okay.
minute.
Okay.
Darlene, you got anything? Alice?
No.
Brad? Tony? Alright, so then I ask for a motion to enter closed session, discuss employees, General Statute, Chapter 143-318-11-6.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
Second,
Yeah.
Darlene second.